is going to be a spirit mirror. Once again, I think it's just I think everyone just chose spirit. I think everyone's like, no blight, no nurse, just spirit.
I was about to say, I feel like spirit mirror is like the new nurse mirror. Like nurse mirror is so passé now. It's all about the spirit.
Honestly, it's pretty accurate, I feel like. I feel like that's very, very accurate.
Of course, we see our handy-dandy corrupt intervention cannot possibly run in comp without it, and we've got a chase starting up here almost immediately.
Oh, boy.
That was a quick find. Oh!
Yeah, really quick find.
Really, really nice hit.
Absolutely, and it looks like we're taking chase with Ada going into main building, already going in for the hit tanks. I love the wait. Both sides just like, are you going to do it? Are you going to do it?
No, it's wonderful. It's like, I dare you. I dare you to do the thing.
Running around towards the back here, and Ada will probably end up going down here, but wasting as much time as humanly possible. And that will be the first down of the game. There is, in fact, a sloppy butcher.
My favorite perk as a survivor.
Oh, yeah. Don't you love healing for, like, hours on end?
Man, the buff to sloppy really, yeah, it's so fun. I love it.
Love it so much.
Love it so much.
Understandable, but with that said, let's check over the survivors as the screen sharing is kind of rough here. Looks like Ace.
Looks like... I was going to say, it looks like we've got really good progress on that gen. It looked to be about 75.
It was 75. With that Pop Goes the Weasel, it's not quite going to be the same.
Our survivors now knowing 3 of our killers' 4 perks.
I think they're just cat and mousing these gen setups. Oh my goodness, Ace is so stealthy.
He is. I'm surprised she didn't look around a little bit over there when she kicked that gen. He walked right back to it, no fear.
No fear whatsoever.
Looks like they were trying to take advantage of this hook time as much as they could, but definitely coming in here for a trade on the Cheryl.
Ooh, I imagine that's going to be the deli. The question is, with their power-up, can they follow up and maybe get the down here before the 10-second mark to the 12-second mark? Firecracker does get the blind!
Wow, wow, wow!
That might have secured the deli.
That was a huge blind for the Ada.
It really was.
Well done.
Absolutely. Going around the edge here, and they do get the mind game and the down here, so second hook coming in for Ada, but 2 gens down already for the survivors. They are not taking this lightly.
No, and it looks like the Cheryl has been picked up, so the question is, are they going to get a heal off in time? And it looks like the Nia is in a little bit of trouble just because of the proximity of that gen and hook. And she's going to be motoring as far away as she can. Oh.
Spicy swing, but not going to connect.
You know, as you said yesterday, Rue, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Well, isn't this like the swings, not the shots? I don't know. Another Pop Goes the Weasel for the books.
You said it during a slinger match, so at the time...
Yeah, you know, that checks. That makes sense. That makes sense. Just walking around here looking for another survivor. I think they're just going to try and proxy this out. They've got a good situation with the gens around them.
Yeah, this is a fairly quiet match. This is pretty chill, I would say. There's been a couple of chases, but for the most part, the survivors are just putting their nose to the grindstone and getting these gens done as quick as they can. Coming in for another rescue. Probably going to be another trade, but if the spirit follows any sort of pattern, they're going to go after that Ada.
Oh, absolutely.
It looks like they are.
And looks like, yeah, they want to go down under the pallet. Honestly, a good play. Going for the insta-pick, but Ace is going to be there to punish it. Really good play from the survivors there. Also, I've never seen a pallet that close to Shaq before.
Yeah, that was odd. I'm not sure I have either, to be honest.
Yeah, super weird. And going in for another palisade, but I don't think they're going to get this one as it's a little bit too far out from him. That'll be Death Hook coming in. As we, I will say, I do apologize, folks. This is my ISP
Stream's
acting
down.
up. Oh, I know. I know.
Oh, okay.
I watched it completely die, which is lovely. So love that for us. And it's funny because, again, I know for a fact there's nothing wrong with any of my equipment because the game's running fine. The game doesn't require a huge connection, but my ISP just cannot get it together.
Yeah, it looks like we are reconnecting though, which is going to be helpful.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get with my ISP during the break, folks. I do apologize for this, but again, this is why we have the videos on the YouTube, so you can all watch them with none of the errors that we're having currently.
But all of the color commentary.
Oh yeah. Nia going down in the corner here. Survivors still at 3 gens remaining. Both of them working on it. The question is, if they're able to finish them, yeah, so A's almost finishing theirs. And then, yeah, Maria also really, really close to getting theirs done as well. So essentially, with 1 gen remaining potentially, if they can finish this before the Spirit gets over here with a Pop Goes the Weasel.
This will be a little bit of a harder ask just because they have 1 survivor out, but it is not impossible. The fact that they already had 2 gens almost finish here means that they're going to be a net positive in terms of survivors versus gens. So, I mean, the odds are not terrible. That second one popping, and it looks like we're going in for a rescue kind of the long way. Ace maybe looking to take a little bit of chase right here.
Looks to be the case, and the question is now, with the current setup, are the gens split enough? And I don't think they are. You got 1, yeah, it's not the closest 3-gen, but it's not the 3-gen you want.
Oh, that was just a locker check. I thought that was a head-on.
No.
Sorry.
No head-on.
Little bit of a stuttering on my end, so I misunderstood. Sorry, friends.
All good. I do apologize for it.
No, I apologize. I misread the situation.
Ace coming in for the unhook. Gonna result in a hook trade. Well, potentially. They actually get body blocks coming in. Is this a 110 killer? But now Nia also has to be a little bit careful here. Woo! Good tech there from the Ace. Ace trying to be as silent as possible.
This is going to be a tough end game for them just because of the gen proximity. But never mind. They managed to crank that out. They said, let's get 2 on here. We're just going to sit it. Ace is down. The question is, how many people can they get out, if any? I find that sometimes Spirit match end games can be a little bit tough. But if she's busy patrolling the gates, then they have the opportunity to go in for the rescue. If she's busy patrolling the hook, then they can probably escape. So we'll see how this all plays out.
Indeed, going back towards the exit gate here. No progress just yet. I think the survivors want to try and reset before they do the exit gates and maybe look at getting a 3-man out. Yeah, looks like we have actually scratch marks heading back towards the hook here.
Oh.
Stars want to get as many stages out here as possible. Listening around, trying to find the Ace, but end up finding Maria. So it looks like Nia actually was able to self-care in some way. Xeno trying to take body blocks here.
She's not interested.
Yeah. However, phase wall coming in. I imagine Nia working on this exit gate. No, I don't think they're ready.
No.
No.
No, it looks like it might be. Nia hopped off, but I did see 3 lights. Oh, there it is. Question is, can they get all 3 out the door with 2 injuries? And that's going to be tough, but Nia coming in for a clutch body block.
Now the question is, with Ace here, Spirit can kind of body them out. I'm gonna say, you can just wait this out, like, as long as Server can't get towards the hatch. Yeah, and unfortunately for our Ace, this will result in a 2K, but a valiant effort almost getting them to the hatch.
Yeah, that was really well played at the end. You know, with the Nia being able to self-care, like you said, in some way, having the health states to kind of try and make that happen. Unfortunately, the Cheryl took a hit, which meant she wasn't able to come in behind for the Ace. Nia had to take a hit for the Cheryl. It all kind of spiraled in that moment, but really well played by both teams.
Absolutely, and I do believe, yeah, that is going to be a 7-stage 2 game with one fresh hook on another survivor. So, really good score. All right, everyone, welcome back to Champions of the Fog. We are loading into trial number 2. Is going to be Wizzle piloting the Spirit now, and with like a perfect tie, the points in this game are going to be tighter than ever. Ada making themselves very well known, and Nia possibly being the one the Spirit wants here, as Ada was the easy bait. Ooh, they even get the blind.
We have seen 2 cheeky blinds today, and I will say, I feel like a lot of the times we don't see those firecrackers connect, so 2 for 2, pretty good start.
Absolutely. Really good job at going down under the pallet here.
And this Spirit is not taking chances. She is looking around. She says, I smell somebody over here, but where are they? And the question is, can the ace remain hidden? Faking the pickup. Faking. Going for it. A blind?
Yeah,
beautifully
they
done.
do get the blind.
Doubling back.
But I say, just trying to listen for the Spirit there, and survivors do waste a bit more time of the Spirit. I think they're trying to jam center gen out as quickly as possible, and they're going to get so close. That was really, really close.
She is going to come in for a kick, which will reveal that nasty, nasty pop goes the Weasel. They tried so hard. They did get so far. We'll find out if it matters in the end.
That we will. Without copyright infringement. Good job. I appreciate that.
Thanks, man.
Ooh, they do get the unhook, however. Renato sneaking back there for it. Now, the problem is that Spirit very likely able to deny this. Nia running back, trying to get to a hit tank of some kind. But yeah, I think they're going to be able to deny the hit here. Waiting up to 10 seconds. And I don't believe that was a safe unhook.
That was some excellent body blocking by the Spirit, preventing her from getting in. But we do get a pallet stun just close enough.
This is killer abuse. Oh my goodness. Nia, though, getting caught up in the crossfire after the vault and going down regardless. This Nia has had a lot of saving chances. And every time, the killer's like, nah, get back on the hook.
Wow, 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 wow. And down to the basement, the punishment is too severe for the crime.
True. What's worse is that center gen upstairs is still not finished. And 1 gen completed for the survivors, so in a bit of a tough spot. Renato over here working on their own gen in the back. Bit of a dead zone area. Renato, however, is sneaking around a little bit, but going to the corner. Gonna have to be careful.
Infinite. Z-Wall. Z-Wall Infinite.
Z-Wall Infinite, but yeah, that's what I was saying. Taking the hit here. Now they're already with power. Following up, but they do have... Oh, good read there from the killer. Going down, and now, yeah, Ace got to go in for the unhook, but... Oh, this is going to be really, really close. I do feel our survivor friend is probably going to be easily tunneled out at this point.
Yeah, she knows the game. She is not giving... Oh, yeah, she's not giving him anything. She says, no, no, no. I put you down here, and I'll put you right back.
Absolutely.
Listening closely, trying to find this Nia. Oh!
Just really, really good mind games coming in here from the Spirit, and Nia going down without a decisive strike in hand. That will be Death Hook. Worth noting, Renato was able to pick themselves up due to an Unbreakable, which I don't think surprised anybody. The question is did they get Deli from their unhook?
This is going to be a painful job for the survivors. Luckily, they did just pop another gen, but they are at 3 and 3, and that is a tough, tough place to be, especially not getting the center gen done. If they had gotten this one done, I think they'd be in a little bit of a better position at this point, but this is going to be a slog for them.
Just a little bit, and with Renato going down once again, not able to complete that heal due to the Sloppy Butcher in effect right now. This is gonna be rough.
And she knows exactly what she's doing. She knows that that's the gen that they need to break. And if they can't break it, her odds of getting a 4K before 5 gens are immeasurably larger.
Absolutely. Not to mention that all you need is to try and get for 8 stages. You can even go for some fresh stages, and that might be able to EQ out. Again, it was a tie before, so any number of points you can get over the survivors. It's pretty crucial here. All you really need to do is deny them 6 stages, and you should be in a good spot.
So the question here now, Rue, is if you're the survivors, are you going to keep trying for that center gen, or are you going to say, you know what, we're just going to go for as many points as we can and do the other gens around, knowing that at this point you're kind of in a difficult position?
So there is something to be said for that. So definitely trying to get 2 more gens done is a priority. That gives you 8 points overall. But in addition to that, you might have to start looking at denying the killer points and trying to get stages out. The problem is that even if a fresh survivor gets out, that's 6 points denied to the killer, that's 3 points for survivors. That's still not enough. That's 18 to 13 in favor of the killer. So, unfortunately for the survivors, you don't have a choice. You've got to get these gens done or try to mitigate the point gap in set 1 in case you tie set 2 and force a set 3 tiebreaker.
Yeah, this is going to be a big ask for them. I'm not sure how they pull this off, but yesterday we saw miracles happen over and over. So I choose to believe that in a game like DBD, anything is possible.
I would hope so. And Ada doing the chase of her life here. Good tech there, and they will be able to get away safely. So if Renato didn't have Deli before, they do now. Look at how silent that is. I can't hear a thing. I guess neither could the Spirit.
She's not giving up yet, though. She's got those ears on. She's found Ada again. Ada running. Rock Tech hugging that rock as quick as she can. Trying to get back over to Fun Bus. Will she have enough distance?
No.
Not quite.
Very, very close. And they do get the pickup on Renato. Looks like they're going to try and get the reset as well. A second hook comes in for the Ada. And we know Ace is trying to finish a gen, and the problem is now is I don't know if you're actually going to be able to finish any generators at this point. They do finish the heal just in time for it to be taken.
Yeah, this is one of those situations that you hate as a survivor because you kind of get put on the ropes where you get one person who's getting chased, one person who's injured and needs to be healed, one person who's hooked, then you've got gens to do, and because there's only 3 of you, you can't really commit anybody to doing gens at this point. Everyone is committing to other things, whether it's being on a hook, rescuing, healing, being chased. There's too many things that they have to do, and without that extra survivor, not enough resources to get it done.
Absolutely, and Ace being chased back here, trying to deny the unhook at this point. I think the Spirit's very well aware that they're trying to hook Renato last. However, Renato probably able to go in for the unhook here, but they're going to go after the Ace regardless. Was that Calm Spirits? I think that was a Calm Spirit, which is
it might have
interesting.
been.
I think oh, you know what? They might be worried of a potential infectious fright. Might
not
have
able to get that rescue. So we are saying goodbye to another survivor. At this point, it's a bit of a formality to play the rest of this out. Unfortunate for the survivors, but this Spirit has played incredibly well up until this point.
Absolutely. It's been pretty rough for the Survivor Squad. Again, 4K at 3 gens remaining here is pretty atrocious. I know that the gens were a little bit close, and maybe that was the issue, is that the survivors knew they had to commit to that center gen early on, and the Spirit had plenty of pressure early on. But I say A's also just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, the early chase with the Nia at the very beginning ended up being a little bit shorter probably than they were hoping for, because you were right, they were on that center gen sitting it. They knew exactly what they needed to do to get a good start to this game. And once everything kicked off, once the chases were happening, the Nia was hooked and getting tunneled, getting that center gen just became nigh impossible. Unfortunate situation for the survivors, but unfortunately, sometimes the RNG gods are against you.
Indeed, and with that said, the killer's going to be waiting out here for about another 60 seconds. Well, I guess not. But I say, you know that Renato has Deli in hand. And you know that Ace has another, we have to wait for second phase before they can, truly go to death phase. Well, actually, yeah. Ace technically, yeah, they could just not die on second hook. Okay, I see what was going on here. They could have got some hook attempts here, but well, if Renato has sprint burst and Deli's at the exact moment that Ace is gonna die, they could technically make it to hatch in time.
This is gonna be tight.
Yeah, and it's just like it's only going to get them a couple of points, but anything to
Here they go.
I'm about to say anything to bridge a gap between, you know, a 4K3. Oh,
No.
Renato says, yeah, no, there's no way we're getting out of this. We know.
Yeah, it looks like that sprint burst was not there. Unfortunate, but what a good sport.
Yeah, it looks like they will be taking the knee here.
Is he wearing an IKEA hat? Is this man a walking IKEA billboard?
Maybe?
It looks like it, the blue with the yellow lettering. It just... Am I wrong here? I was wondering yesterday, but there wasn't really a good moment to ask, but I feel that this is the moment to ask.
Honestly, fair. I'm not really sure.
Chat, is it an IKEA hat? What do we think? Does Renato secretly day job at IKEA, the entity's IKEA?
Oh, what is that? I actually have no idea what that is anymore, but with that said, that will be set number 1 going in favor of Elysium by a large margin. Kind of like we saw yesterday in reverse, as if second set is a tie in any way, third set is going to be monstrously difficult for Torment. So, all right, everyone, welcome back to Champions of the Fog. We are loading in for another day of mental anguish as the survivors are going to be slaughtered by the killer. Sorry, killer me talking here. As it's now a singularity mirror on the suffocation pit. And T, have you ever seen such a beautiful corrupt intervention?
You know, I don't know that I have, Rue. Frankly, this is one of the best.
It's pretty dang good. Not to mention you've got a 4th generator tucked back here, and I'm sure the survivors are well aware of their situation. However, oddly enough, it looks like the closest 3-gen, according to our lovely Deja Vu Nancy, is actually on the Shack side. Funnily enough, with that said, looks like Claudette already going to be slipstreamed and getting into chase here right off the bat. Or, you know what? Maybe not chase right off the bat. Maybe they're just spreading the love. And that does seem to be the case, as they seem to be going after the ace here, and they get the tag on the back. Look at them go. They are spreading the slipstream everywhere.
They are on top of it. They said, you know what? I know exactly what I need to do here. I'm going to come in, and I'm going to do the thing, Rue.
They really are. And Nia just barely slipping past and going on to the Shack side. Yeah, I think they might be calling out that, hey, Shack actually has a worse 3-gen than on main building. Can we get that taken direct care of? And Nia's like, on my way. And with that, taking him tag into the back.
That's part of what's so important in these comp matches that definitely differs from a pubs is just the level of communication, the ability to communicate as much information as possible, as concisely as possible, so that they do not put themselves in really bad positions. It's incredibly impressive.
Absolutely. And with that said, that'll be first down coming in for the killer here. It is worth noting is that is the Soma family photo as well, as that was why they were able to get that down under the pallet. That's why Soma family photo is just so good. Add-on is just so incredibly good. Again, that extra little speed boost to get around the side. And yeah, it looks like survivors are actually attacking the Shack side first, so they do realize that is the stronger 3-gen. Suffocation Pit is just so difficult for tackling, though.
Yeah, and also for anyone who, like me, doesn't remember what Soma family photo does, it grants an additional 5% haste to our killer during overclock mode. So pretty powerful add-on, pretty useful as we are seeing here.
Absolutely. Looks like Claudette about 50% of the way done on their generators. Singularity still just looking around. Looks like they are actually in chase with the ace now. Again, it's so hard to tell because we can't really spectate the killer because of the frame shearing. But at the same time, this killer is like Nurse and every other killer that teleports across the map. They're so difficult to figure out where they're going.
Yeah, I had a really hard time. Huh? That was unique.
That is the tech that survivors have learned to use against really good singularities. So the way that singularities teleport works, you teleport to a fixed location that is tied to the survivor's orientation behind them. So if you move your orientation to the side a bit, the killer doesn't actually teleport under the pallets, and so they don't get the break. They teleport to the other side of the pallets.
Ah.
It's really specific. What?
I was about to say, that sounds like a very, very niche survivor tech, but we love to see it here.
I love it so much. But with that said, continuing chase with the Claudette here.
Looks like we did get an EMP somewhere because there are no blobs on any of the survivors right now.
Yeah, survivors have done a really good job taking care of these EMPs to the best of their ability.
Again, just the level of communication, knowing who needs help in that way, how to come in, get that EMP off, and then get out of the way and let them continue running. Ace coming in, taking a really nice hit for our Claude, buying her some time. We have Nancy almost done on one of the gens. Gonna pop any second now.
I think there's almost 2 gens ready to pop potentially, which is kind of crazy. Claudette going to the corner now.
Our favorite place on the map, Comp Corner.
Absolutely. 2 gens down for the survivors. Nia and Ace swapping off the gen now. Nia gonna go in as Ace is injured, going to try and help their survivor out. As Nancy, I think, is repositioning to another gen, as they were the Deja Vu player. They want to be on the gens as much as possible.
2 gens, 2 hooks. Nobody with the blob. These survivors are motoring. We do have another gen, as you said, about to pop. They are not playing around. They are coming in. They know what they need to do here, and they are accomplishing that.
Absolutely.
But these matches can change on a dime. It only takes a couple of mistakes or a couple of really, really good plays for our killer to catch up to them. And it looks like we're about to have Chase potentially back on that Claudette again. He wants her out of the game.
Really does. And Nia coming in for the body blocks as much as they need. And they do get behind him. Nia will take a tag, go into the other side. There's the EMP. And just another so precise EMP from the survivors. They are so well ready for this.
They are. It seems like every chase there is somebody nearby who's got an EMP ready to help out their friends. It is incredibly good teamwork. We love to see it.
Yeah, they are playing so well at the moment. Looking around, looks like they are going to get a reset on Ace, not the other 2 survivors, and Ace is going to be able to, another EMP coming in potentially, getting the reset, but it looks like they're going after the Claudette here.
From a lay person's perspective, you might have thought, well, gee, getting the other 2 healthy because they've already been hooked is the better play. But Ace is worth more points if he gets hooked. So instead, getting him healed up, keeping him out of the Singularity's clutches is a better call in this instance.
Absolutely. And I believe this is second hook coming in for the survivor. Worth noting is that survivors are actually in a really good position here after playing so, how would you say, tight and coordinated. The gens aren't, I don't think they've broken the gen setup just yet. Yeah, there's still a bit of a 3-gen on the main building side, but they've broken the shack side pretty well. Nancy actually almost done in getting pushed off of their generator.
She says, no blob for you, sir.
Absolutely.
Playing it real safe here. $50 years later, this Claudette will be healed.
Right? This poor Claudette has been waiting forever. Nancy is going to be chased off their generator entirely. Singularity pushing them around the main building. That's the issue, is that... Oh my goodness, she is dodging the teleport so well so far. And they are going to finally get the teleport. Nancy, using balanced landing to get distance, is going to get out of main building.
Really nice job. That's another thing that these comp survivors are good at. They're good at finding the tiniest little drops to proc that balanced landing. And Nancy Shirley did that just now, definitely giving her some distance, allowing her to get to this pallet, which is going to make all the difference in this chase for her.
Absolutely, and 4th gen going off for the survivors. EMP coming in from the Ace. That gen that was completed, though, was the one that Nancy had been working on. Nia sneaking back here and finishing it is huge.
Yeah, our survivors are in a really good position right now. There have been 3 hooks so far. Everyone is coming in, good body blocks, good EMPs. They're cranking out these gens. Unfortunately, the Singularity is just a little bit on the ropes here. Hasn't been able to get any really good pressure on these survivors yet.
It's very true. Not looking towards the main building as a potential flashlight would come in, but I believe this is 2nd hook on the Nia. At the very least, for this killer's sake, they need to find someone that's more fresh between Nancy and Ace and get a hook on them and kill them. And it looks like 2 survivors doubling up on the generator over here. EMP's at the ready, but only about 50% on this gen. Immediate unhook from the Ace as killer can't waste any time, and that is going to be a Pop Goes the Weasel, which will help them out a little bit, resetting up their biopods.
Do we think there's a world in which all 4 survivors get out here?
It's possible, but I guarantee you they're going to just readily give Nia and or Claudette up in place of the Nancy. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they're resetting so that they can take a number of body blocks to deny a fresh hook on these other 2 survivors. Simultaneously, giving up the Claudette is not also a bad idea, just because, you know, a 3v1 is what the killer wants at some point. They have to get a survivor out of the game to try and maintain the pressure.
Yeah, and they've got to do that quickly. That last gen is probably really close on this end. They're starting on another one with 2 on. This is a really scary position for a killer. I don't know what the play is here other than to just chase this Nancy down, try and get her hooked, and maybe try and camp her out.
That might be the best case, but as we know, Torment has done this multiple times already. You're going to be hard-pressed to camp them to death. Just, yeah, another EMP. Really well done. Killer did get the teleport before it, but...
Huge hit from the Claude.
Absolutely. Nancy going to the other side of the map. It is worth noting that the longer this chase goes on, there's the adrenaline.
Oh! Beautiful, beautifully played. Here I was thinking Nancy was about to go down. These comp survivors know better than that. They knew exactly what they were doing. That adrenaline coming in huge here. Nancy gonna take a slap, but she's got a lot of distance. Ace coming in with that EMP, coming to body block. Hopefully they've got someone on a door somewhere. This could be a 4-man out, and that would be
very possibly
huge.
Yeah, there's the door being open. Body blocks coming in from everywhere in between. The alternative is just head to Shack and we'll help you out. Hit tanks coming in at the exit gate here. Yeah, the further you go in as Nancy, now you have the problem of, do they get to the exit gate? Do they get to Shack? There's anything in between. Ace also is a target here. Getting the vault and getting towards the main exit, though. We might be looking at a 4-man out. Nancy coming in, though. Oh, no.
Oh, Nancy's so close. Nia's going back in. She's able to take that hit. Oh, we're going to try for this pallet save. Are they going to get chased out?
Yeah,
maybe.
you've got to force the survivors out here.
Ace is out.
This is going to be so tight.
She knows this Nia wants it.
But I say the killer would be in a really good spot if they could secure this survivor. It is 6 full points for the survivor if they can secure it. And the alternative, too, is that you also have to worry about endgame collapse, because endgame collapse will happen before the bleed out happens.
Mm-hmm. This is a precarious situation. Getting them both out is not out of the realm of possibility, but it certainly is going to be a little tougher.
Not to
maybe going to come in for a pickup here?
I'm about to say, you crawl at the last possible second when the killer's not ready for it. You crawl to the one side. Nia drops the pallet, goes for the heal. They get the pallet.
Oh, no!
Unfortunately for Nancy, there's nothing left here.
Booking it for Shack, doubling back, sneaking back to that gate, potentially. This is going to be close, everyone.
It really is, but I think that Singularity's got to cut them off. Hatch is still on the table, though. They're trying to get the teleport. It's opposite side, though. You have to get to the opposite side without getting teleported, too. They get teleported, too.
Can she get this vault?
No, she can't.
So close.
So very, very close. And Singularity, this is huge for the Singularity because this is 6 extra points for you. That's 3 points to add to the survivors. That's a 9-point survivor you just hooked, which could be that's the difference between life and death in the next set.
That was a really, really wild ending. Survivors played this match incredibly cleanly. I'm not sure what else they could have done to get the Nancy out. That was a really, really tough position. You know, they did as much as they could. If they had maybe gotten one more survivor healed up in the exit gate, but there just wasn't enough time.
All right, welcome back to Champions of the Fog, everybody. We are loading in for trial number 4. Already dropping a firecracker. Super confused by that.
Maybe try fat fingered or trying to lure the killer over to them.
Possibly, like that's a bold strat. I've never seen a survivor just drop a firecracker.
And they don't. You can have an EMP and an item, correct?
True, but you can't use the item while you have the EMP in hand.
Okay.
So if you want to, yeah, I don't know.
Think the EMP is gonna be more helpful? Question mark. That was a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it pays off for him.
Yeah, I think you might have been right. It might have just been one of those like oopsie and just like dropped it, and everybody's like, really, really.
I can't tell you how many times I've been being healed by my teammates, and I'll throw a flashbang at my feet in the middle of it. So.
Oh, fair. Ooh, really good use of the biopod there. Really well done, but I'm ready for the EMP already. Oh, they almost reapplied it too. Just such good micromanagement.
Yeah, these survivors are ready. They have practiced going against this killer before. They know this map. They know what they need to do, how to avoid the little blobby blobs, and how to play with each other to make the most out of those EMPs as well.
Absolutely. And looking at the gen setup here, there's only truly 2 gens on this side. One's in the middle. So the gen setup's definitely in favor of the main building. And oh my goodness, that frame shearing is killing me. All right, we're gonna go sit on the Nia's perspective here, as I can't handle that.
Man, the way that the survivors are able to just see as soon as the crosshair appears on their back to immediately, like you said, make those little micro movements to get it right back off of them. It is really impressive.
Absolutely. And just again, look at them. Oh my goodness, resetting the EMPs all the time. It's just so well done. Messing with the killer, wasting as much time as possible. They do know that the main building is the side they need to tackle, and they're keeping them on the shack side. I have never seen 2 survivors chase like this before. Getting the
I was about to say, man, they are bullying this guy. He's just a little guy. Why you guys gotta bully him so hard?
They do get the teleport, however, on the Nia. There's the Summa family photo coming in for that 5% speed. And another EMP coming in from a survivor.
Wow, wow, wow. They have wasted a lot of time. This killer needs to get it down, and he needs to do it yesterday. He's got to get some pressure on them. Otherwise, they are just going to continue to sit those gens.
Absolutely. Coming around the edge. No teleport just yet. We're looping. I was say looping at the TNL is an odd one for Singularity, but they are going to be able to get to this pallet here. Waiting for the teleport, but it's not going to happen. There's the EMP coming in once again.
They are just so on top of it.
They really are. Just really good movement from this survivor. I'm about to say, is there another EMP coming in already? And I don't think quite yet.
No, but that looks like the LED is over here ready to come in and take a hit if needed to buy a little more time. Looks like that EMP is ready now, potentially. Going in for the grab.
Almost getting the body block, but not quite able to land it. Instead, looks like they'll be taking chase after the Claudette now. 1 gen down. I'm surprised it was this long, but yeah, I'm about to say 2 gens going down now. And for the amount of hit tanks and EMPs that were going down, honestly, really well done.
Yeah, that was wild. Watching that kind of cat and mouse with 2 different survivors coming in, EMPing, taking hits, just really masterful stuff by the survivors. Again, it's that really good communication that they have, the ability to know what they need to do for each other, having played with them for hundreds of hours. It is truly impressive.
Absolutely. Survivors resetting Ace on their own gen with the Deja Vu in hand. Also, I love that they have Deja Vu and Windows of Opportunity. It's just like, you get all the aura reading, friend.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you just want to see all the little yellow squares.
You know, it is handy. Ooh, and they do get the Biopod on the Ace's back, and they're going to go back and probably reset with the EMP. Survivor's probably going to be setting up soon for an unhook. Yeah, it looks like LD with an EMP in hand is heading back there, but it might be second stage secured. Yeah, as the Singulated can probably cut this off just a little bit.
Elodie did get one of those boogers on her back, but immediately had that EMP to get rid of it, so it's just the Ace at this point. He's also got an EMP, so he'll be shedding that pretty soon. Nia does go to second stage, but it looks like the survivors aren't too worried about it. They're making a lot of good progress on their gens, so...
Absolutely.
They're in a pretty good spot here.
Yeah, definitely making that chase last as long as humanly possible. Survivors have given themselves ample time to finish 1.5 gens at the very least. And still possibly be able to come in for a last-minute save. Actually, hold on. 1, 2, 3. They're just on different gens. They're like, hey, Nia.
Wow.
Love you, Nia. They're oh, my goodness. I wish my solo
like...
survivors were this dedicated.
Right? They're like, good game, bro. You did so good. And we're just going to do generators in your honor.
Absolutely. And Ace swapping off of the gen to go to another one. There's the third one. I think they're going to go try and fix the middle one with Elodie here.
They are going to double up on that one, which has a lot of progress. His is almost ready to go as well. By the time Nia dies, this is looking pretty rough.
Yeah, maybe... They might have should have switched over a little bit earlier, but they do have a lot of progress on that generator. And obviously, you know, we didn't see a pain res or a pop yet, so we don't really know what's going on. There's the fourth generator going down, but this killer still has some gens to hold on to on the Shack side. Not a true 3-gen, but it's close. It's kind of there.
And as you said, we don't know what all these perks are that the killer is running. We've not seen all of them yet. So in the back of their minds, they've got to be thinking... That question, Rue. What's the question?
Is it Noed? Did we just miss a pain res? Is there a pop that we didn't see? Like, we only know Sloppy and Corrupt, which leaves... There's a lot of options here. Look at the FOV tech here coming in from the Elodie. Really well done. But they know they can't waste too much time as they have to go back and push the Ace off this gen. Survivors are very close here to forcing a 3-man escape.
And I said, what was the one question I meant? Is it Noed? Just, you know...
Well, okay, I at this point, it's hard to say.
You're coming in on endgame. You gotta wonder.
You're absolutely right. And with the way that things are set up, getting the teleport on the Ace, doubling up on the generator, Ace forcing the killer to commit potentially. There's EMPs coming in as Claudette hangs out in the basement, but they will... Did they get the teleport? I don't think so.
No, it looks like maybe that got canceled.
Oh, yep, it's the Demogorgon bug. It's fine. But yeah, now you have the gen split in such a way that no matter what no matter what Singularity commits to, there's going to be a gen finish. Ooh,
the question is, have these survivors been doing totems? Is there pain res? We still don't know. This could be kind of an end game killer. Sometimes you have matches that seem to go incredibly in favor of survivors, but you know, at the last minute, oh, really nice window tech. Elodie making great use of Shack.
Really, really well done, and they're going to be leaving Chase altogether here. Possibly going after Claude or the Ace. I can't really tell. No, they're going to be going after the Elodie. And yeah, you were right. There is Noah. However, what's the point difference? I think this... Let's see. That's a 2-stage out. That's 12. I'm trying to think of the point difference. I don't know if it's enough. think Elysium pulls away here because Survivors get 6 points for the stages. Killer gets 12 total. I think Elysium, I think they did it. I think that's enough. I think Elysium won here.
Wow, 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 wow. This was a really excellent showing by Elysium here. They were just on top of it the entire game. They didn't give the Singularity any room to breathe. They said, no, you're not gonna have any pressure on us. We're gonna do this the way we wanna do it. And at the end, you know, sacrificing that Elodie, just getting out, they knew what they needed to do and they came and they did it.